Sister Wives Kody Brown's manipulative tears worked on Meri. Sister Wives has shown Kody Brown to use different tactics throughout the 19 seasons to convince his 4 wives to act and do certain things. Many people believe he used his strong emotions to manipulate Meri Brown in the end, and it worked. Meri and Kody Brown say goodbye. During the latest episode of Sister Wives, Meri and Kody Brown parted ways. However, Kody had used his final moments with Meri to express regret for how he treated her in the last 7 years. Likewise, he confused her by joking about walking her down the aisle to her new husband. Although Meri coldly looked at Kody's change of heart, it fully perplexed her. Furthermore, she was still moved. In a confessional, Kody admits he was transitioning from anger to grief. He says, "It's more like permission to move on." After leaving, Kody confesses he confused both Meri and Nathan Diltz with his goodbye. However, Kody expresses he is mourning the end of the marriage and the family. But fans think Kody was using his tears to manipulate Meri. Although Kody Brown was completely overtaken by emotions, he doesn't view divorce as the wrong decision. Seemingly washes his hands clean after leaving. He says, "This moment with Meri is me moving from the anger to just this moment of grief." Furthermore, in the confessional, he mentioned he knows they shouldn't be married. However, he used his parting gesture to process his pain, and just trying to be safe in it, sit in it, own it, and heal it. Kody Brown confuses Meri and Nathan with his soliloquy. After expressing emotional distress, Kody Brown confused Nathan Diltz. While he pours his heart out for Meri in front of Jen Sullivan and Nathan Diltz, he relays it was just a brief expression. Kody acknowledges the misdirection of Nathan in the confessional. "When we get in my car and drive off, he just touches me and says, 'Friend, you know I'm not one to push. But are you sure?'" Kody takes his normal snark and responds, "I said, 'Brother, if you don't understand now, I don't know how I'm going to be able to make you understand.'" But Kody clarifies, "I'm not questioning whether we're doing the right thing. I know that Meri and I can't be married. And I'm not questioning, our experience because it's a great memory." After his good cry, he adds, "It's just the end." Kody refocuses on his current wife, Robin Brown, and how he hid his enamor for too many years. Meanwhile, Meri Brown becomes introspective. Kody Brown's manipulative tears worked on Meri. Once the doors closed and Kody Brown walked away, there was proof that his manipulative tears worked on Meri Brown. Stunned Meri, in a confessional, said, "I'm so confused." Then Meri talks with Jen Sullivan and says, "Part of me was like, Ost, what have I done? Maybe I did the wrong thing." When she thinks about Kody's words in the final hour, she is tormented. She reflects, "If you're so clear that you don't ever want to be married to me." She mentally battles the mixed emotions, "Oh, and you're also saying things like you never loved me." She continues, "But you're sitting here sobbing about the end of an era, and we had something special. Which one is it?" Jen Sullivan helps Meri curve the urge to return. Although Kody Brown is living rent-free in Meri's head, she tells Jen Sullivan, "I'm not running back to him or anything like that." Then she adds, "It's just that is he really sad about it?" I think that's normal. Like when you have a split, you question, wait, did I do the right thing? Jen points out Kody Brown had plenty of years showing his true colors. In a voice of reason, Jen tells Meri she has had time to mourn the relationship, and it is time to move forward. Jokingly, Meri says it would have been easier if he had been a jerk. While Jen agreed, she reminded her that Kody usually is stupid about things in their lives. Meri knows it pulls on her heartstrings and makes her want to continue to try, but she needs to break the pattern and build new dreams. Meri Brown sat at the far end of her well-decorated living room, a soft quilt pulled over her lap, clutching a mug of herbal tea. The calm ambience of her sanctuary belied the emotional turmoil within her heart. It had been months since Kody Brown, her spiritual husband, had paid her a real visit. Though their relationship had long been in tatters, his latest appeal stirred something within her that she couldn't quite ignore. Kody's tears, those rare and strategically timed drops, had re-entered the narrative, this time to manipulate Meri into staying in his life, just enough to maintain the family's precarious balance. Meri closed her eyes and let out a deep sigh. She knew better than to trust Kody's emotional outbursts, yet here she was, questioning her decisions all over again. The setup. Kody's lonely guilt Kody, perched dramatically on the edge of Robin's perfectly upholstered couch, had spent days rehearsing what he would say to Meri. His once commanding presence had dimmed, now overshadowed by his many fractured relationships with his wives. He had alienated Janelle with his relentless favoritism, driven Christine to leave him and find happiness elsewhere, and left Meri as an emotional afterthought. But Kody knew Meri's heart. He understood the soft spots in her armor, particularly her enduring loyalty. Despite years of neglect and mistreatment, she had remained tethered to the family in some way, clinging to the hope of rekindling what once was. Kody's plan was clear: use his vulnerability to pull her back into his emotional orbit. He knew tears could be his trump card. "I'm lost without this family," Kody had practiced saying in the mirror, ensuring his eyes glistened just enough to appear authentic. "And I don't want to lose you, Meri. I never wanted this." The emotional bombshell. When Meri arrived at the family meeting Kody had called, she felt an eerie sense of déjà vu. Robin's home was the setting for most of these gatherings, and it always carried an air of underlying tension. Robin sat silently, her gaze alternating between supportive and calculating. Janelle was notably absent, and Christine's chair was a painful reminder of her departure. Kody stood up as Meri walked in. He forced a nervous smile, his hands clasped as though he were a man burdened by a mountain of regrets. "Meri," he began, his voice trembling slightly. "I know things haven't been easy between us. I know I've failed you in more ways than I can count. But I need you to know something." Meri froze. She had seen this act before, the confessions, the apologies that never came with meaningful action. Still, something about Kody's tone made her pause. "I've been doing a lot of thinking," he continued, his voice breaking. "And I realized how much I've taken you for granted. You've been there for me, for the family, even when I didn't deserve it. I'm ashamed, Meri." Then, as if on cue, a single tear slid down Kody's cheek. Meri's internal battle. Meri's heart clenched as she watched Kody wipe his tear away with the back of his hand. She wanted to believe him, to hold on to the idea that he still cared about her. But the years of emotional neglect and broken promises loomed large in her mind. "Why now, Kody?" she asked, her voice steady but tinged with hurt. "Why are you saying this after everything we've been through?" Kody stepped closer, his expression earnest. "Because I've realized how much damage I've done. I've been so consumed by my own struggles that I didn't see how much I was hurting you. Meri, I need you to forgive me. I need you to believe that I want to make this right." Meri wanted to scoff. Where was this energy when she had been pleading for his attention? When she had stood by him during the hardest times, only to be met with cold indifference. But his tears, the vulnerability he rarely showed, made her hesitate. "Do you even love me anymore, Kody?" she asked, her voice breaking. Kody's tears intensified, spilling down his face as he reached for her hand. "Meri, I do. I've never stopped. I've just been too blind to see how much I was hurting you. Please don't give up on me, on us." The manipulative undertones. As the conversation unfolded, Meri felt herself being pulled into Kody's emotional tide. His words were everything she had longed to hear for years, but something felt off. Was this a genuine plea for reconciliation, or was Kody simply trying to keep her in the family dynamic for appearances? Robin's subtle glances didn't help. She seemed almost too invested in Kody's performance, as though she had helped orchestrate it. Meri couldn't shake the feeling that Kody's tears were calculated, a desperate attempt to maintain control as the family continued to splinter. But even as her logical mind screamed at her to walk away, her heart wavered.